So like it would be the entire thing. Yeah, no, for yeah, it was strange. It was like, the amphitheater. So it was about, I don't know, 5 minutes away from that. It was in the middle street. I would maybe expect that from like a downtown station. Yeah. In the middle suburbia. Like rich suburbia too. Like what are we doing? I guess people who can pay for double every walk.
Yeah, that's who I was talking
And not like January 1, like January 20. Okay, good.
But he also was like, I'm sure you were real sorry that I was working with you. I was like, great.
They should put me in charge of
I never
Bobby, Jerry Kill.
The lawn is incredibly steep though.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So I was feeling it in my legs like days after. Yeah. It was fun. It wasn't also that
Did you see the AI? Yeah, that photo. Come on. Yeah. I clicked on it not realizing it was AI. And immediately was like, that thing is up to do views on pictures. Yeah. I'm working a live stream, all this stuff. I agree. No, you're good.
Yeah. Weird. Like a little bit of everything.
Oh, thanks.
It's like you did hear a couple of people that are congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we bought a house.
Great.
Their office is and I'm also doing sports for or like game for and stuff. Just going back to
Nice story.
if they play yeah, it's like I'm not writing but it takes more forward constantly rewiring your brain for different I'm surprised that like I get that where you sense it's also a big game. Yeah. I guess it's 6 versus I guess technically the rating is better. Those are 2 rankings. And I feel like we've done
from their standpoint, I feel like we've done out in the door just celebrating. They're just sick of it. I've been covering our class A reason three. It's like, yeah, it's reason three, right? Yeah. And so, they're all at each school. Most of their games are like, they're like doing non-reading or a lot of them are. Yes.
But he's
I
not
don't know what the biggest games are. Oh,
exactly. Yeah, so it's very good. Yeah, if you have a great time for any SEC or major college football, you will get to.
Good morning, everyone. We're starting with Coach Malmack. We'll have Coach begin with an opening statement, and then we'll take some questions.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Before I get going on our plan for Georgia and answer your questions, I do want to just take a minute and offer my condolences to one of my good friends, Sean Clark, and his family, Janelle, and their two kids, Braxton and Gianna. Just to hear of his passing, the last couple of weeks we've gotten updates, and just a sad moment. And you think about a person that I would want my sons to be coached by. I can't think of anybody in this profession that better than Sean Clark. He's a fantastic human being, great energy, loyal, thoughtful, and certainly I was glad to be able to call him my friend. So, the profession is tough sometimes when you lose people in any profession, but certainly you move on and you continue to work and do the things that you need to do. And so, for this week, looking at Georgia, we're certainly excited about this opponent. Have tremendous respect for Coach Smart and Coach Bobo and the way they operate offensively. I think they've done a really good job with their quarterback and Gunnar Stockton. I think he's operating very efficiently right now. I think what they're doing with him and the grit and toughness that they have shown. Great football team that will be a tremendous challenge. They've shown some grit and toughness on the road as they showed in last week in Knoxville. And that's something that, we've got to become more consistent as a football team of how we handle adversity on the road. And can't think of a better place than being able to test and prove that than Athens, Georgia this upcoming Saturday. So looking forward to the game, and there's a lot of work to be done between now and then, and certainly our players have done a great job in the bye week in preparing ourselves to kind of get a jump on the week. So we're in a good place. Looking forward to the work in the week ahead.
Thank you, Coach. Let's start on the far left with Chase.
Could you speak to the challenge that Georgia's offense presents with its running game, and to that point, how do you feel about the way your defense is executing run fits right now?
Yeah, I think we are taking strides. Every team is working to get better, and those are the things that I've told our guys. Everybody has issues right now, but everybody's got to work to get themselves better, and the good teams are the ones that just better themselves week by week. I think our run fits are improving as we go. I don't think we're where we want to be, and certainly I think there's some things that we've put on tape that we're going to have to answer for as we go down the season, things that I would imagine Georgia and other teams in the SEC are going to try to expose. And so we want to make sure that we have a plan for those things. But I think our guys have been very locked in. The work that we've done thus far We've had a good off season or bye week, off week of practice, and I think you think about this team. This is a tough, gritty. Their backs run hard. They're physical, and so it's ultimately going to be about bringing a grown man to the ground, right, and the physicality that it takes to do that over and over. Because I think Coach Bobo does a really good job of just staying committed to the run game as it goes on, and those are like body blows in a boxing match, right? You got to be able to match pound for pound for as many times as they want to run the ball.
Let's go to the opposite side, Dick on the front right.
Yeah, follow up on that question about defending the running game. Gunnar Stockton, I think, leads them in rushing touchdowns so far this season. What do you see from him on the ground, what he can do, and how you guys need to defend him?
I think they do a really good job with Gunnar in the run game. It's just enough to keep you honest. You see the run game at the right time, certainly third downs and red zone, and those are things that will always be the case for offenses. But he's a physical kid. He's tough. He's gritty. He's willing to get the yards. In the read game, he makes the right decisions the vast majority of the time. And so, he has certainly brought an element to their run game that, maybe they didn't have as much with Carson a year ago. And I think that's something that, that certainly we're going to have to account for.
Staying on the front row, right in the middle, Tony.
What have you seen from the progression of your pass rush? How do you think that that's coming along?
I think we're taking steps in the right direction. I think we'll know a lot more as we move into SEC play, and we'll know a lot more about our ability to pass rush, after Saturday. So going up against a good team and a good offensive line, big, physical, and certainly they've got great athletes. And so I think pass rush is, you look at it through different facets, just as a four-man rush, how you're blitzing, how you're simulating pressure. But certainly I think just when you look at our defensive line and outside linebackers that are rushing off the edge, I think we're taking steps in the right direction. But I'm excited to see the progression on Saturday.
Let's go to Kennington on the back right.
Georgia's screen game has been a pretty prominent part of their offense through the first few weeks. How would you assess how your defense has, shedded blocks and tackled in open space, and how do you emphasize those points in the season?
Yeah, I think they've done a fantastic job in their perimeter screen game. You look at the screens, you look at the actual double screens and slip screens and tunnel screens and all those things, and then just the perimeter now screens that they're getting out there. They're blocking on the perimeter at a very high level. You can tell their wide receiver room takes pride in it. They do a good job of taking good angles and breaking tackles. I think that's certainly going to be an element to the game that we have to defend. For us, we have been a pretty consistent space tackling team. That's certainly something that's going to have to show up on Saturday because they're going to test you. They're going to stretch you laterally the width of the field and make you defend, all 53 yards there laterally. So for us, that'll be a good challenge.
Standing up all the way in the back left.
Hesitant and timid were ways that you described the Week 1 performance. How do you avoid that happening again on the road against another elite opponent?
Yeah, I think it's on the forefront of all of our minds. I think we've talked about it and made an emphasis, and yet at the same time, right, you got to take the next steps forward. But I think all on the road, having a mentality of adversity is coming, and how you're going to be responsive and not reactionary to adversity is a major aspect to overcoming adversity on the road. And I think that's something that we have to show that we can do a better job of as a football team. I think it's something that we have stressed to our players. Our players have taken great ownership of it. Our coaches have taken great ownership. We've got to make sure when adversity comes that as a sideline and as a football team, we're ready to go, not just mentally, but physically respond, emotionally respond in that moment, and something that I'm looking for the opportunity to respond to adversity. I think us as a coaching staff, us as a defense, that's something that we're kind of looking forward to the opportunity to showing.
Standing on the left side, we go to Katie, second row.
What is the possibility of getting Tim Keenan back, even if it's in limited reps, just bring for this defense from an on-field perspective and his leadership?
Yeah, Tim will be back for the game. He's done a great job. Has been practicing, the last couple of days here and has looked pretty good. And so, credit to him and Jeff Allen and our staff for getting him, ready to go. So excited certainly to have him back. Just the physicality that he brings, the experience, the block recognition, the ability to get off of blocks, and certainly what he does for us, not only in the run game, but I thought he has taken some strides in pass rush as well from an interior pass rusher. And so excited to have him back this week.
All right, we got 2 more questions. Let's go to Colin, front left.
Kind of back to the whole road game adversity thing. Has there been any change in conversation, change in approach in terms of, road atmosphere, how you guys talk about road games? Like, what does that look like between you and the rest of the coaching staff?
Yeah, conversations that we have. I think Coach DeBoer has a very good pulse for our football team right now. I think we've made some adjustments to give ourselves the best chance to be able to play responsive football on the road in adverse situations. And so, for us as a football team, it's a mindfulness. I think our players, they're great young men, they're great kids. They get whatever we emphasize, we tend to get from our players. And so, we have made that a huge point of emphasis. I think you've seen that at home in the energy and juice that we've brought from our sideline, the passion that our guys have played with the last 2 games. But there's a difference when you have to go on the road, particularly in the SEC and in a hostile environment, and respond to adversity. I thought at times we have been a team, that has been reactionary to adversity, and we've got to be more responsive. It's at the forefront of our minds, and I expect to see a very responsive football team on Saturday.
All right, let's finish up with Emily Grace right on the front row.
Hey, Coach, what elements of this defense do you feel like you were able to fine-tune with this extra prep time, and how do you expect that to translate on Saturday?
Well, the first thing is you look at like some self-scout things. What have we put on tape? What are we going to have to answer for as the season goes on? What are we doing well? What do we need to continue to show and do more of? So those are different elements, personnel, matchups, all those types of things. But I think for us, getting our cleats in the ground, identifying where the ball declares, and then playing a swarm D football mentality. And I think that's something that our players have kind of leaned into. We have done a good job of really the last year and a half here of playing with great offensive recognition that did not show up really any way near the standard in the first game. And so getting back to playing that style of recognize where the ball's going to be, where the ball declares, and then going and finishing and playing. I think that's something that we've got to make sure continues as we get into SEC play. All right, thanks, guys. Roll Tide.
This is a pretty good job.
Here's the third string title in that song too. No.
But that was like kind of.
I was really disappointed that he didn't take the order to Chicago. It was, I could always start everybody. I was gonna say play the game, but. All right, we are doing everybody. Coach Grubb, y'all put your hands up. We'll get questions going.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Right here in the front here with Jamie.
Hey, Coach, how important is it to get the run game up to speed as the degree of difficulty only gets tougher when the schedule to open SEC play?
Yeah, always good to get the run game going. Certainly alleviates a lot of the pressure off of Ty and gets us, you get some closed coverage looks, get our receivers out on the outside one-on-one, so definitely important.
Let's go to the left side, Colin.
What's kind of your message to Ty? Another game on the road, big kind of major atmosphere kind of to face. Like as he heads into the SEC play, what's kind of your message to him?
Yeah, just remember what has made him successful the last 2 weeks, and that's just been, built from the ground up, great feet, discipline in his decision making. I think that's the biggest part for him.
Let's go to Nick on the front right.
Yeah, give us the scouting report on Georgia's defense, what you see, what stands out.
Yeah, obviously Coach Kirby has done a great job, getting that defense set over a number of years, and they're super, multiple in what they do. They can get to about any coverage scheme they need to. Their pressure package is very advanced on third down, So have to be ready for that. I think their guys run to the football. They play hard in between the whistle. They're physical up front, and they'll be a good test.
Go all the way back left. Trey, go.
Ty Simpson has played with some infectious confidence that's showed throughout his play. How does the offense take that confidence going onto the road and start fast and play up to the standard?
I think early execution is always the key. When Ty starts fast and the guys can feel that he's making great decisions, and we got command in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage, I think that they all feed off of each other. And when they feel that sense of control early in the football game, I think everybody is feeling a lot more confident.
Got time for a couple more questions for Coach Grohl. Let's start back right here, Kenny.
When you look at your offense as a whole, what growth have you seen, or what data points can you lean on over the last couple weeks that gives you confidence that this group will, pass the test on Saturday?
Yeah, good question. I think for the guys, again, I hate to keep, falling back on boring answers, but honestly, it just comes down to execution. Unfortunately, week one, that was something that we weren't doing a great job of, and I think the last 2 weeks, regardless of opponent, it's been our execution that has allowed us to stay on the field and be efficient.
Back right, Mike.
Just how close are you to settling on a starting five for the O-line, or is that something where you want to keep rotating some guys through a right guard, right tackle?
We'll keep rotating. There's a lot of guys, both, not just for experience and depth, but also, keeping guys fresh and keeping them in a position where they can, play hard for 80 snaps a game.
All right, let's finish up with Katie on the left side here.
You talked about how the run game can alleviate the pressure on Ty. Just if James able to go, how much does that open up what you're able to do offensively?
Yeah, I don't think there was anything we were limited when Jam was out, but certainly just his leadership and physical presence on the run game, just being able to lean on him a little bit is super helpful.
All right, thanks, Coach Grohl.
You bet. Thanks, everybody.
We're going to have Coach make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions. Just take your hands up and go ahead and get started. Coach.
Yeah, you bet. Good morning, and I know you heard from the coordinators, and so just I think overall just excited about the week upcoming, the preparation, getting ready for a very good Georgia team, one that's undefeated, going to Athens, Georgia. Going to be a great atmosphere, great environment. Something our guys are looking forward to. You can tell just with the way we've had practices here at the end of last week, yesterday, just high energy, and looking forward to the challenge.
All right, thanks, Coach. Let's start with Nick, front right.
Yeah, do you expect Jam to be able to go for the game?
I do expect him to go. He practiced yesterday, been building up last week his volume, and so expect him to play.
Jumping over to the left side, Chase.
Staying with Jam Miller, what does his pass protection ability bring to the running backs, especially in a game like this where you're playing a really physical defense on the road?
Yeah, no question that Jam's a complete back all around, not just what you see with him carrying the football, but in his pass protection, both the responsibility and the ability to get the job done physically as well. So he's very important that way. He's someone that we trust at the highest level, and just in fall camp and spring ball, goes back to last year. He's just been super consistent as a pass protector, not just as a guy who can carry the football.
Let's go to Jamie on the front right.
Hey, Coach, how important is discipline in a game like this where penalties, mistakes, and crowd noise could swing momentum?
Yeah, I mean not every game, but a lot of these games that you have in the SEC come down to one possession, and going into the fourth quarter. And when you have games that are that close, it's a play here, a play there that keeps the drive alive. A lot of times it comes down to penalties. Obviously, there's an execution piece that is really important throughout the game, but you don't know when that penalty is. Is it the one that extends the drive in the first quarter, the fourth quarter? You got to be able to be focused and be disciplined for 4 quarters and more if needed.
Staying on the right side, let's go to Charlie next.
Yeah, Coach Womack said that Tim's going to be able to go, Tim Keenan's going to be able to go this week. Just what kind of boost does that give your defense up front?
Yeah, I think in a couple of ways. I mean, he's voted team captain for a reason, and so the energy he's brought, the last even 2 to 3 weeks, just, his juice, and he's that way naturally. He loves this place. I think, his perspective of being on the sideline has brought another level of energy to him that our defense and our whole team can really has responded to. And then on top of it, he's a big anchor, big body in there that can kind of hold down the line of scrimmage, get a push in the pocket on pass plays, and so it's good to have him back. And he's had a couple good days here and continue to build here through the week of practice is what we're expecting.
Go to Kennington, back right.
Just what have you seen in the last few weeks from the team, could be in game, could be in practice, that gives you confidence that they'll be able to go on the road and execute on what happened in week 1?
Yeah, whatever we've asked of this group, they've just been so coachable, and I think talking through and going through what we've experienced together. You got to prove it on the football field, but just the way that they want to respond in practice, I think, has carried over into what we've done, at least in these home games these last 2 weeks. And so, we got to be resilient. We know there's going to be storms that we're going to have to weather in the SEC, on the road, and you got to do it. No one else is going to go do it for you. I know there's a high want-to factor that this group has. Again, they've shown it in the work. They've shown it in their preparation, and that's the key. Really just prepare, invest, and do everything you can to be confident and do something special together. And so, I just ask these guys to empty the tank every single day, and they've done that, and that's what we got to do on Saturday. But we're going to have to be resilient, and understand that adversity against good football teams is going to happen, and know what our response is going to be, choose our response, and understand what that looks like even now, not just when it happens.
Jumping to the left side, let's go to Colin.
Kind of in that same vein, has there been a change in conversation, a change in schedule when it comes to approaching games on the road, especially heading into this week, maybe compared to week 1?
I mean, I think you do the same things. You might tweak something here and there, but I think it still comes down to, your preparation and execution. Every game's a little different depending on how far you travel and all that, where you're staying, and that's a lot of the times how the coordination of the schedule, might be impacted. And so for us, the flight and then the drive the next morning, that's going to be different than it is in some other cities that we go to. So again, it just comes down to keeping the main thing. You are certainly, in our case, always really trying to find the little thing here and there that might, help us with the juice, the energy, whatever it might be. But we also don't want to make something out of nothing. And, we want to make sure we're focused on the right things. And that's just, playing as hard as we can, giving everything we have to our preparation, and going out there and playing physical, sound, disciplined football.
Let's go to Emily Grace, front left.
Coach, in what ways have you seen your players maintain the level of intensity and focus that you expect through the bye and in preparation for Georgia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I've asked them to do is just really look at their process, and this is the way it should always be. Just really kind of similar and adding to the question that was just asked about even what we're doing on road trips and things like that. You're always trying to just make things better. And so I don't care if it's how they take notes. What's that system? Is it, color-coded ink that you use? And how can you just make it better for you to be more successful? And so I see that with these guys. I see that with them trying to find just little ways they can make themselves better, maybe with treatments and their schedules. And, you know, they pour so much into it, but you can always make things better and be smarter about it. And when it comes to practice on the field, I can just see, again, we've focused on moving with purpose. Everything we do, just move with an urgency level that just has great body language and becomes infectious or contagious, I should say, across the team. And so I see that, and the action supports the desires and goals that they have as a team. And really, you know, it's again, goes back to everything I've ever asked them to do. They've always responded. And so that's really what I've asked them to focus on.
We're going to finish up with Katie, second row on the left.
You talked last week, and then Kane talked earlier about there's got to be a better response to adversity on the road. I know last year's game was at home, but how much can you use that game as an example of responding to adversity and then finishing through all 4 quarters?
Yeah, and that's it. And it's never over till it's over. And you can, you know, I challenged the guys to watch some football this weekend, and you know, we pulled up a game or two and tried to learn from what other teams are doing and what happened to them, good and bad, and that. You know, you fight till the very last play, and that's whether you're ahead or whether you're on the wrong end of it at that time. And that example last year was exactly, you know, one that we lived out. And so it was great, and then it was hard, and then we found a way. And so, you know, you play because crazy things happen, and you play because you love to compete, and that's what, you know, our guys are going to do here this Saturday.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.